Have you ever pondered how antibiotics, those tiny soldiers fighting off your infections, impact your gut microbiota? Well, it's a fascinating journey of cause and effect. Strap in, because we're about to dive into this intriguing world. When it comes to antibiotics, amoxicillin is a usual suspect. Its effect on the gut microbiota is quite substantial. It's like a storm, wiping out the small intestine's inhabitants and reducing the population of both anaerobic and aerobic bacteria in the colon. This upheaval leads to some specific alterations. For example, the expression of MHC class 1 and 2 genes in Lactobacillus species decreases, while the production of mast cell protease in the distal small intestine increases. But what about other antibiotics like Metronidazole, Neomycin, and Vancomycin? Well, they have their own unique effects. They turn down the volume on the expression of crucial immune factors, making room for the unwanted guest, Vancomycin-resistant Enterococcus, to set up shop in the intestinal tract. The changes antibiotics induce in the microbiota can also mess with the immune responses to viral infections. Take Neomycin as an example. It's known to reduce the expression of pro-cytokines, hampering the body's defense against influenza viruses. Some bacteria in our gut are like peacekeepers, modulating inflammatory processes. The administration of antibiotics can stir up this balance, altering these bacterial populations and potentially modifying immune defenses. This can lead to health effects that are less than ideal. Now, as much as we might want to, avoiding antibiotics isn't always an option. There are situations where infections can only be effectively treated with antibiotics. So, what can we do? There are some strategies to counteract the negative effects of antibiotics on the gut microbiota. One approach is to use commercial probiotics containing strains like Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium species, as well as prebiotics such as fructooligosaccharides. Upping the intake of traditional fermented vegetables and dairy products can also be beneficial. These foods are like a restoration team, helping to rebuild a healthy microbiome. Fecal microbiota transplantation is another tool in our arsenal. Although it might sound a bit unorthodox, it's an increasingly accepted and effective intervention for conditions like Clostridium difficile infection, inflammatory bowel disease, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. The goal? To restore a disrupted microbiome. In conclusion, while antibiotics are vital in fighting off infections, they do come with a cost to our gut microbiota. But with the right strategies, we can mitigate these effects and help our microbiome bounce back. After all, it's all about balance.